Have you wondered if people who have disabilities desire sex? Well, today is your lucky day, so stay tuned and find out. Welcome to Disability Awareness, and our mission is to educate society about people with disabilities that they can contribute to society. Again, it is Lisa and Chris, and once again we are joined by our friend Mike. Today we are going to talk about whether or not people who have disabilities desire sex. We are not going to get graphic, but it might be a sensitive subject to some people. We wanted to be upfront with you first rather than get nasty comments later. So Mike, please start us off.
Okay. So, to Chris and Lisa, we'll start with Chris first. Do you still desire sex?
I do desire sex, but I don't want sex with any woman. I want someone who loves me for who I am. I want a relationship that is strong and leads to marriage. To me, I don't want to say, oops, I messed up. Yes, I messed up one summer long ago and I regret it. That is why I pray to God that I could meet a woman who wants the same things as I do.
Okay, very good. Lisa, do you desire sex?
It's not about the sex. It's more about the companionship and the closeness. Yes, I enjoy the feeling of being intimate with a person, but sometimes it's a lot more emotional than it should be, and sometimes that is hard to deal with. The emotional aspect of sex. Yes.
Okay. Very good. Next question. Is sex difficult in general with people with cerebral palsy? If so, what are the challenges?
I think it is hard to have sex with someone who has cerebral palsy. Our bodies are tight, so you are not flexible to get in the right position. If the other person always had a person who can control their body, they would give up quick. That is why I say if you are married, sex might be good because you are in love with that person. You have less desire to have the best sex ever because you are already with the one you love. Maybe I am wrong, but after talking to some of my friends, they feel they are giving themselves unconditionally to their spouse. It wasn't how many times something happened, but it was the love they give to each other.
Okay. And Lisa?
Yeah, there are several aspects of sex that are difficult because you want to be able to pleasure your partner, and sometimes when you're with a person with a disability, the other partner has to do more because you're not capable of doing as much as you would like. But there are different parts of sex you can conform to, and there are different ideas of sex for different people. So there's different ways you can perform sex in different ways for people with disabilities. So.
Okay. Next question. How would you describe your first sexual experience?
For me, it was when I was around 35. I think I was in shock and the woman went too fast for me. The situation was really foreign to me, so I guess I was very confused. She was an atheist, so down deep inside I knew it would not work. After the first weekend, she was all about getting married. We had one more weekend, and when it was time to go, I knew it was over. That made me to feel like I would not find true love. The desire is still there, but at the same time when I hear guys say that he just met an amazing woman and had the best sex ever, I just get the creeps. I know that the best sex is when a married couple gives themselves unconditionally.
Okay, and Lisa, how old were you and how would you describe your first sexual experience?
Well, I went to the University of Wisconsin in Whitewater. I was about 25, and I met this man, or lack of man, at in college. So let's just basically say it lasted less than 30 seconds. It was more a shock value like Chris. I was like, oh my god, what's going on? I had no recollection what was going on. It just happened so fast. You think, oh my god, it's gonna be this amazing situation, and then you're like, oh my god, it's over. Oh my god, what an epic fail did I do? I really screwed up. I was really awful, and it's just like, that wasn't what I expected at all. I thought this was gonna be this magical moment in my life where a guy was gonna be so romantic, and it's all about what TV doesn't show you. They want to give you this image about sex being this amazing experience. In retrospect, your first time is less than amazing. So I don't want to be, that sex is terrible, but for me, it was like, I want to keep doing it to see if it's still amazing. Because I kept thinking, oh my god, why am I doing this? Because it's not amazing. It depends on the partner that you have, too. So
epic fail, correct?
yes.
Okay.
Very epic fail from my experience.
Okay.
Epic fail.
Okay.
Yes.
Next question. What age do you think parents with CP should teach them about sex?
If the teenager who has a disability is smart enough to understand reason, they should be taught like any other teenager. Teach them the way you would teach your next teenager. In terms of how to do something, I would say leave it to person to learn like the next. Nobody knows everything going into it for the first time. Give them the proper tools to determine whether or not sex is for them. Again, it is just my opinion what to do. Kids follow what their parents do more or less. The best teachers are the parents. Remember that.
Lisa?
And I feel the same, but do not be afraid to talk about it. And use the proper terms. Just because your child might have a disability, it doesn't mean they have no understanding, because they still see it on TV or they still see it from their friends. And knowledge is power. If they know more, then they'll understand what their body's feeling or how to react to those feelings. If a parent's not willing to teach, how are they going to learn? Probably somewhere that's not the most appropriate place to learn, like TV, because TV, like I said, gives you a fantasy. And TV could be negative or positive. So just use your knowledge to your best abilities and be a parent. Be there for your child and support them whatever they want to do. Don't be negative. Don't, put them down. Just talk. Be a family. Be there for each other.
And I'm sure you don't want them for kids to find out on the internet or what sex is like, because it's really not.
That's exactly why we're doing this today, because we want the people that our viewers to feel like we're giving you knowledge instead of negative things about people with disabilities and sex.
Yes, because what's shown on the internet is very,
There is not-
very degrading towards women.
Yes,
And
yes. And
that's not something, you would
Right.
want kids to learn from.
And our biggest point is, when you're a woman with a disability, we have power, we have knowledge. We're just not someone that's treated like a piece of meat. We want to have the same experiences like everyone else. So that's another way for us to educate and stop rapes from happening. So.
Do you also feel that parents sometimes don't teach children because they just assume they don't want sex, or don't think it's appropriate?
They just feel that in some instances, their child will be sheltered all their lives, so they don't think they're gonna be really outside the world. They're gonna be in this little bubble. And it's just not the case. And I'm not saying all parents think like this, because they don't. We've been lucky, and our parents didn't treat us like people with disabilities. They always said we could do whatever we wanted, so they gave us the knowledge. But some parents don't even have the knowledge themselves, so they can't teach what they don't know. So how do you teach someone who has a cognitive challenge? Show them pictures, show them,
Could be both. Okay.
yeah, just
Sex
make it to their level. That's all I'm saying. Take the time to understand what your child needs. Yeah, and that's our point. Take the time to understand what your child needs.
Okay, very good. For Chris, what role does your faith and belief play in your view toward sex?
For me, faith and sex work together. Sex should be a self-sacrifice of yourself, but today it is taking one dignity away from someone. God made everything good, including sex. People think that the church believes sex is bad. That is so wrong. If it is done in a greedy way, it is wrong even if the couple is married. It is still forcing yourself on a person. If the couple does it in giving themselves openly, the church says that it is the highest form of love that you could give someone.
Okay.
Well, I believe what Chris believes, but I have a little different take on it. I mean, I have a strong faith, but sometimes emotion gets in the way of sex, and sometimes you're just like, I would really like, you might think you're in love with the person, and you might just want to experience with that person because you're just like, I just want to see what it feels like to be loved in that form. So sometimes your head does it before your heart does. It's more emotional for me than anything else. I do it because I'm in love with that person, not for anything else. I really have to have an emotional attachment to something to do it. So that's a really hard subject for me, because I believe in my faith, but sometimes your emotions get in the way of what you're actually doing. So.
And to clear one thing up, people with cerebral palsy all of them can have feelings, sexual feelings, in the brains and below the waist. That is true, correct? Okay.
Yeah, but
Alright.
let's just say if some of them don't know how to express it because they're not taught right, because their parents haven't had the knowledge, like I said before, to express that with their child, because they're afraid to give them ideas or thoughts in their heads. And that's just my professional opinion. I'm not saying I'm right or wrong, I'm just saying that's what I've heard in the past from what I do as an advocate.
We are Disability Awareness, and we try to give useful information to people with disabilities and educate society in general about disability as a whole. If you like this video and aren't a subscriber, please subscribe to our channel and share this video with your friends. If you have a question for us, please leave it in the comments below this video. Here at Disability Awareness, we do 2 videos per week on Tuesday and 1 on Friday. So we will see you on Tuesday. It's Lisa and Chris signing off.